foiled. We were foiled again from shocking the world. What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider, coming to you with my Goonies shirt. Why? Because Goonies never say die. And the Raiders never say die. And they proved that versus the Miami Dolphins yesterday. Please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider donating, becoming a member of this channel to help me buy some tacos. And basically, just live. All information is down below in the forum or whatever they call it, the description down below, if you feel the need to hook a brother up. All right, what are we here to do? We're here to give a post-game review of the Raiders versus the Dolphins. And it was a doozy. Let's be honest, every year, every week with the Raiders is something. There's some sort of storyline that we need to get to and talk to. And for the most part, it was our former coach, the storyline. But now, guess what? Stella got her groove back with 2 victories in a row with Antonio Pierce and this Raiders team not looking spectacular in all areas of the game, but looking energized and having pride and a little bit of excitement. And they're bringing back the real Raider way, that spirit that has been missing. And nothing has changed after the loss to the Dolphins. Let's get that right. But we do have a few questions to talk about moving forward. And some of them are going to be hard and they're going to piss people off. Hey, we're basically going to live Twitter or X, but on a YouTube video. So stick around for that. But first, I just want to give a big shout out to everybody. Well, damn, if you're a fan of the channel, well, then subscribe. I'm doing my Raider Honcho. I just want to give a shout out to Raider Honcho. I like Wi-Fi Willie, gets me all the information, whether you guys like him or not. Again, he's able to take all the information and put it together in a video in a timely manner. And he saves my life because I don't have all the time to go over everything. And Raider Honcho, he's a fun character to watch. Great dude. Samoan Raider, I love you all. I love Murph. I love Raiders Fan Radio. I'm so proud of each and every single one of you, man. I really am. So in case you guys watch this video, which I doubt, I love y'all. I'm still proud of you. If even we don't talk all the time, I got you, brother. I got you. I'm your number 2 for life because I have to be my own number 1. So I'm your number 2 for life. All right, that being said, what happened on Sunday morning? What happened on Sunday morning? All of a sudden, before the game, there was a major story that came out from Adam Schefter. It was like a photo news dump release of the Raiders to either piss us off, help us want to lose the game, or test our spirits. Well, what story am I referring to? Well, we all know the turmoil with our former coach. We all know the turmoil and the issue and some sort of way Davante Adams has been feeling last year, this year as well. And we all heard rumors of Davante Adams possibly being traded before the trade deadline. And again, there's people on both sides of the fence. He should be traded. He shouldn't be traded. He wants to trade. He doesn't want to trade. Whatever people think. Well, Adam Schefter came out and proved those theories true with a report early Sunday morning saying the New York Jets will continue to pursue Davante Adams at all cost this upcoming season. I'm paraphrasing. But out of nowhere, hey, America, here's the report. The New York Jets will continue to pursue Davante Adams to reunite him with Aaron Rodgers, and they will continue to pursue him heavily. So that means they were pursuing him before, maybe before the trade deadline, once they hired Aaron Rodgers. Okay, we heard rumors about that. Now it sounds true. Now, looking back, that our former coach was fired the night before the trade deadline, or that day. It might have been that same day, but he was fired. Uh, Davante Adams might have officially, possibly have been traded to the Jets or any other team because they were, as we now know, pursuing Davante Adams heavily. But now they got ammo because next year, because Davante Adams, let's be honest, we don't have to talk about it forever, but he's on the team now, and he wants to be a part of the team now. A few weeks back, he probably didn't, because there was rumors and a story that his agents or somebody asked if there was a way out. So that means he was looking. But now, because of everything that's transpired, he's a member of this team. He's going to do his best. He's going to play with AOC and whoever else and try to come together. But next year is a different story. Now we know the Jets are pursuing him officially, and that is going to be a storyline going into next season. And I could see, with Aaron Rodgers returning, if Aaron Rodgers returns this year, plays decent for the 1 or 2 games if he does return, I could see a scenario where Davante wants to just officially go. It depends on how our team looks moving forward, how many games we can win, and what's the turnover or whatever going to be like. Because let's be honest, Davante Adams doesn't want to play with another rookie quarterback if we draft one. Davante Adams, depending on how AOC looks moving forward, does he still want to continue to play with him, even though he believes in him? It's a major storyline. But the reason Adam Schefter put that storyline out was, in my opinion, to get, even though the Raiders, players, and everybody, we got a really good energy right now going, that's one of those things that can cause a divide. When they said the New York Jets are going to continue to pursue, then the players are like, damn, Davante, I read that story. You know, I heard that your agent or somebody was seeking a trade or seeing if there was any way you can make something happen. Do you want to leave? You get it? Like right before a game, and our energy is good, that story comes out that might make some people question Davante or ask him, hey, man, what's up? Are you happy? Are you happy? What's going on, man? And that's just one of those things that can divide people at a time of enjoyment. You know what I'm trying to say? But I believe in this team. I don't believe it worked out if that's what was their intentions. But it's just ridiculous to get that story, you know, like in front of a Miami Dolphin game, pretty much in the beginning or middle of the season, kind of. You know, that's a storyline for like toward the Super Bowl. You know, or when the teams are in playoffs, you know, toward the off season. Just, all right, I'll leave it at that. Just ridiculous. Now, let's get into the game. We were 14-point underdogs by most gambling accounts. And even in my pregame review video from a few days ago, I told everybody, take the under. And I was right. And then my final score prediction, I don't quite remember it. It was something like 30-23, like a 7-point game. I had the Dolphins winning. But I was pretty much right. The Raiders lost 20-13. They were in the game till the end. And it was a fantastic game on defense against one of the most high-powered offense and creative offenses in the league. And the storyline coming from this game is, from all the reporters, there's no moral victories. There's no moral victories. I know there's no moral victories, but can you guys take a moral victory? Shut your fucking mouth. If there's no moral victories, and if that's the creed, or if that's the code, then why are you calling it and continuously saying, we know that there's no moral victories. We know that there's no moral victories. You're making it a moral victory by asking the damn question and saying, we know there's no moral victories. Are you a fool? Are you an idiot? Are you a Forrest Gump? Yeah, boy, sure is a stupid fool. I know there's no moral victories. Then stop saying it. Shut your freaking mouth. Idiot reporters. Look, we're all proud of this team and the defense and how far we've come because we've lived through the worst defenses in the Raiders' history. And right now, I think we were ranked 18th going into the day all around, and we should probably be ranked 15th or 16th, this upcoming week. So we're a top 15 defense at the moment. And we had ourselves in this game. Robert Spillane led the team in tackles, I think, with 14. And we had a few turnovers. And just to talk about the Maxx Crosby effect, he needs help. And he hasn't had a sack in probably 2 or 3 weeks. And he's still at like 9.5 or 10. And he's like 4th in the league with sacks, which is still great. But I'm not saying he's slowing down. I'm not saying he's tiring. But they're definitely double teaming him. And teams, they have to basically only put pressure on Maxx more so than anybody else. And I know at times Malcolm Kuntz and other players get in there and stuff like that, but it ain't enough. We're missing that secondary piece to Maxx Crosby that's getting better in a weekly event. And it showed again this week. And after what happened this week again, it just makes me even more mad that we picked up Tyree Wilson. Because he's played good at times on certain plays, but is he really progressing? Because even with the old coaching staff, if they didn't see a lot from him and they played him a little bit and he still only had 1 sack or getting pressure, out of 20, 30 plays, he would only get pressure once or twice. Is he really overall worth that number 1 pick? No, he's not. Because there are, and I hate to compare, but there are other players that we could have chosen that would have been further along at this point in their career. But we switched regimes, right? So maybe our former coach was the bad energy, the bad voodoo. So you would think now after 3 weeks, Tyree Wilson would get better, or we'd hear his name a little bit more if he's playing better. And I don't hear that. I don't see that. Maybe you do. I do not. So I am very frustrated and upset that our first-round draft pick is not able to help out Maxx and really do that much. Again, barring injuries and all that other talk, that's how I feel. It just feels like another bad choice or a player that is just not being able to handle it. But they got upside, so we have to live our life on that. Now, thinking about players that possibly can't handle it but have upside, let's bring the talk to Aiden O'Connell. We all love Aiden O'Connell. I am not here to bash Aiden O'Connell. I am not here to compare him to every other quarterback. That's not what I'm trying to do. We all know what happened with the other number 4, and we're not even allowed to speak his name anymore. So I don't know how Raider Nation will take this, but Aiden O'Connell is a 4th-round pick. And now we've had a sample size of basically 4 games. He's 2-2, throwing, I think, 880 yards or somewhere around that range. He has 3 total touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And again, we can always give excuses. Oh, it was under our old system. We're still under that old system, but playing differently. Oh, he's a rookie. Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. He's learning on the job. That's fine. I get it. We gave all those excuses to our former quarterback. But then after 8 years, everybody was like, not everybody, but a lot of people were like, I'm done with it. Whether he's the greatest guy in the locker room or not, again, it felt like his game couldn't go any higher. And we're not there with Aiden O'Connell, but he is a limited quarterback. With today's quarterbacks, they need running skills. They need something extra and additive to make a bad play call, to improvise, to do something different, and to build an offense around that player. And again, we can give excuses for this game, last week's game, whatever. Oh, Colton Miller wasn't in, this or that. The offensive line, they didn't have no running game, blah, blah, blah. But it's early. But Aiden O'Connell is living up to number 4. If you want to compare him to the former quarterback wearing the same number, a lot of the same traits have been shown at times. He stands in the pocket, but he doesn't make the best decision. Or he stays in the pocket too long and he doesn't make the right decision. Or he feels the pressure. He feels the blitz too much. And he's not able to run out of the pocket, use his legs, create something. So he's limited. But he's still learning, but he's limited. And it just sucks that in such a close game that we've had, that when those opportunities and those moments are for him to look like a veteran quarterback or to him look like the superstar, they're not there a little bit more on a weekly basis. He had that moment with Michael Mayer a couple weeks back, and that was a beautiful moment that happened. And he had at least 3 or 4 opportunities to do that again this week, and they just didn't happen. So his percentage of those moments have got to get better. You would hope he'll be at 50% at least. But it more so feels like when those big moments happen and he gets pressure and whatever the case is, he's running at like 20%. You know, like 2 out of every 10, he might throw the ball and complete it. Then will it be the right yardage to get a first down or to get a touchdown? But this week's game, not only all on Aiden O'Connell, the play calling was suspect. The coaching, a lot of mistakes. The play calling was conservative at key moments in the game. And even Antonio Pierce said it in the press conference. We didn't want to put too much pressure on the kid. We held him back on certain play calls. And we didn't want, because what they were doing is they try to get him going early with positivity, but when things are getting close, they don't want him to throw an interception, to throw a pick six that would mess with his psyche or mess with anything else to where the game would get worse. So if they're holding him back, that means they don't believe in him as much, or they've seen things in practices with the same situational calls that he messes up in. So even in the game, they hold it back because they're afraid for him to make a mistake. That means he's making a lot of mistakes in practice in those situations. Or they're just technically being afraid for whatever reason, because he's a rookie or whatever. And that is not the way to go about it. The minute you said you have belief in Aiden O'Connell was the minute you said he gives us the best opportunity to win when you became the coach. Well, then if that's the case, give him every opportunity to win. Stop mix-matching the play calls. If it needs to be a long bomb, then let it be a long bomb on first down. They threw in a flea flicker, like one of those trick plays to try to get some offense going. But if you have to do flea flickers and trick plays, that kind of proves your offense is not going and maybe your quarterback is not playing as good up to their potential. That way you have to do trick plays. And That's where it bothers me. Because this week we didn't see much progression from Aiden O'Connell. And again, you hope for every week he does something different or better every week. And I think this was a step back this week. He took 2 steps forward the last 2 games. But for some reason, this week, with all the other issues with coaching, play calling, and his own demons or whatever he deals with, he took a step back. So I'm looking forward to him bouncing back next week versus the Chiefs. But yes, I do have to call out Antonio Pierce and Bo Hardgrave for the game plan and the game management. There was key instances before the end of the first half where the Raiders were driving, got into field goal range, and they had like 2 minutes on the clock, and they ran the ball basically 3 times in a row. Because they didn't want to give the ball back to Miami, because early on in the first half, Miami had a decently high-powered offense. And the Raiders were like, man, we got to keep our defense off the field. So they ran the ball, but they couldn't establish the run in this game. He only had 14 carries. He normally goes over 20, and we win. But that was what the Miami Dolphins knew they had to do in this week on defense to stop our Raiders. They knew we only had the run game and we had a rookie quarterback. So they planned for the run game to stop it. If you stop the run game, make Aiden O'Connell beat us. And then they had Jalen Ramsey back. They had Xavier Howard. Again, make Aiden O'Connell beat us, and he could not do it. And because of Jalen Ramsey and all that, they dialed the play calls back, and they were worried for Aiden O'Connell. So everything got just bad from that perspective. And then there's many moments where Antonio Pierce took field goals to keep the score close and to try to stay in the game in the first half. And he had opportunities where if you're going to call a flea flicker or something, do it. But instead he called 3 runs in a row. We didn't get a first down. We're trying to keep the ball out of their hands, trying to maintain the clock. And that happened again, like before the end of the first half. So we missed point opportunities of field goals. Then late in the fourth quarter, I think the score was like 20-13 or 12 or whatever it might be. And we had 4th down and 3 and this and that. And Antonio Pierce, while in field goal range, decides to go for it on 4th to try to galvanize the team with like 7 minutes left on one occasion or 8 minutes left. And instead of taking the points and making it a 4-point game or a 5-point game while we're still in it, he's like, no, this is where we're gonna convert that 4th down and 4, and we're gonna get a big first down, and we're gonna drive and we're gonna score. I have faith in Aiden O'Connell, but yet early on in the game I did not, and we dialed the range back. And in the third quarter we were nervous about him. But now, with 8 minutes left, and we can get 3 points at least, now I got the belief this is gonna be that moment that galvanizes our team. Then they go for it on 4th, then he gets sacked. Or whatever the situation is, and we didn't get the points. That happened 2 times where they went for it on 4th, and we could have at least added 6 points to make it a closer game, to maybe win it in the end. So that's what burns my britches. And then Aiden O'Connell made some big mistakes, just throwing the ball up, getting intercepted, saying the wrong thing. And he even said in his press conference, there was a moment where he felt like they needed a big play. So he threw the ball deep, and he went deep to Trey Tucker, and it got intercepted by Ramsey in the end zone. And again, take what they give you. Take 4 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards. Take them and do what you need to do to make it work. And that was the mistakes that Aiden O'Connell was making himself and the play calling. Overall, I mean, it wasn't the greatest game, but I'm very proud of this team, and I'm really excited. And I have that feeling, not that we can win every game, but that we're going to fight till the end, and we're going to be close, even against teams like the Dolphins even like teams like the Chiefs, that if we continue on this path, we're going to be in it. And then hopefully we can cut down on these mistakes. Aiden O'Connell can progress a little bit. And then we can make some plays and maybe win a few games in the end or whatever through that diversity. Now, I posed a question on Twitter or X that there's moments like in the game versus the Dolphins where if a coach thinks we can win and Aiden O'Connell is not playing to the best and they're dialing in the ranks, then maybe moments like that you have a thought process of putting in Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, whether he has the long ball, that's not what I'm here to debate. Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe since our former coach is gone and our energy is better in the locker room all around, maybe even Garoppolo might play better and might play up to par until he gets injured. So, I don't know if Antonio Pierce had this moment in the game, but there are moments where you got to think about, we're in this game and I have to dial my quarterback back because I don't want him to make mistakes. And I don't know if we're ever going to be able to take the lead or get back into this game with the way he's playing or the way we're having the game plan for him being a rookie quarterback. I don't know if Antonio Pierce had that moment where, you know what, let me throw Garoppolo in for a series or two because you want the win. But again, that would ruin AOC. That would become in the press coverage by the reporters. Then there would be a quarterback controversy and all that other nonsense that comes with that decision. So I'm glad he didn't do that decision if he did think about it. But me as a fan and wanting to just win, baby, I had that thought. And I'm like, why not have a two quarterback approach moving forward? Again, you start Aiden O'Connell, and if something happens like that, you tell Aiden O'Connell, look, if you're a rookie, if you're still having a tough game, and if we can't call every play call because we're nervous about whatever, you know what? We're going to throw Jimmy G in for a series or two and see what happens with him. And we're going to let the hot quarterback take the reins. So if you're having a bad game, don't get mad at me if I pull you for Jimmy G for a series or two. And whatever press or reporter fallout we get from that, I'll take ownership of it. Don't be mad. You're still our starting quarterback. But man, I want to win some games. And if you're struggling in a really bad game, I know you need to learn, but I might try. That's me. That's how I might think. But in all honesty, that wouldn't be the right decision. We should just roll with Aiden O'Connell and move on from that. But it just hurts my soul that we got a quarterback that takes like $20 to $25 million. That's a veteran that can win with a defense that holds their own, like he did in San Francisco, that he can win with a defense that holds their own, and our defense is holding their own, and maybe he can win like he did with the 49ers with us in those situations. So that's just because I want to win, and that's how I'm thinking. You guys let me know your thoughts on that situation. But moving forward, I'm proud of this team. I like this team. I'm still excited to watch this team. And it still feels good, even though we lost. And it's okay. I'm sure everybody's questioning Aiden O'Connell now on Twitter, just like me, having some questions. But let's continue to believe in the kid. But he is not our savior. And just from right now, we need to look elsewhere. And we need to get a quarterback that has a skill set that can run and do some other things. He is a pocket quarterback. I'm not saying he cannot develop into an amazing quarterback in the future, but just looking at it from right now, I wish we had a more athletically skilled quarterback. And that's what we all wanted since they benched and released Derek Carr, is we want a quarterback to not play the way that he possibly did. We want a quarterback with some upshot, like gosh forbid, a CJ Stroud or whoever. We want that excitement. But for now, we're rolling with AOC, and let's see what happens. And like I said, Goonies never say die. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed. Let me know your thoughts on this week's game down below. Any topics you want me to cover in the coming videos. And we're going to start having a podcast every week with guests on it that are you guys. So become a member, become a guest on my future Raider Roundtable, Raider Football Talk Live. I love y'all. I do have some personal problems in life that might creep up and I have to disappear, but I'm working on it. We all got a lot going on. Sometimes it's a lot to handle. But we never retreat and we never surrender and we never say die. I'm a Raider. I love y'all.